get it. How am I supposed to see this? What do you mean it's scheduled? How do I get the fucking... I guess I should just make this shit public. I guess it's fucking public now. It says I'm like live. I think that's a lie. Ooh, it says I'm live. That's nuts. That's crazy. You probably can't hear a freaking thing. You can't hear me. You literally can't hear me.
I can't see anything on here.
It's on mine now that it's public.
Oh, I see it.
How audio input. That's because I'm like on the fucking
皆さんこんにちは。サイレントヒルの情報をお伝えする番組サイレントヒルトランスミッションへようこそ。サイレントヒルシリーズのプロデューサーを務める岡本元井です。前回は多くのタイトルの最新情報を一気にお届けしましたが、今回はサイレントヒル2についての情報にフォーカスした第2回目のサイレントヒルトランスミッションとなります。ぜひ最後まで配信をご覧ください。先ほどプレイステーションの配信番組でもサイレントヒル2の新たなトレーラーが公開されましたが、それとはまた別のゲームプレイ映像をご覧いただきたいと思います。それではこちらをどうぞ。
Our special place. What could she mean? This whole town was our special place.
You promised you'd take me there again someday. But you never did.
I got a letter. The name on the envelope said Mary. Mary died of that damn disease 3 years ago. Is she really alive? What is this? Hey, wait. What you got there?
None of your business. You didn't love Mary anyway.
What? Hey, wait! How do you know her name?
Where did she go?
I don't know. Let's look around.
This place feels so empty. More than the other places we've been.
keep running away from me? And how do you know about Mary?
Mary's my friend. We met at the hospital last year.
Stop lying! Laura, I'm sorry, I didn't mean...
Fine! Don't believe me! See if I care!
Hey!
Let go!
I'm sorry, Laura, but I can't let you just run around this place. You might get hurt.
Hurt by what?
Look, just stay with me, okay? This is no place for a kid.
Fine. But there's something I gotta get.
Laura,
It's important.
what is it?
A letter. For Mary.
What?
I hid it. In there.
You sure this is where you left it?
It's in the back. Behind an old pipe.
Okay, wait here.
Haha!
Open the door, Laura.
Why should I? I'm a liar, right? Want me to open it? Huh? Do ya?
Damn! Let me out of here, you little brat!
In your dreams, fart face.
Please open the door. There's something in here.
Sure there is. A big lying fart face. See a fart face?
Laura! Laura!
皆さんいかがでしたでしょうか。真のサイコロジカルホラーであり、シリーズ最高傑作として評されたサイレントヒル2のストーリーはそのままに、本作ではよりその世界観に没頭できるようにゲームデザインやユーザー体験を強化しています。そしてすでに発表いたしました通り、発売日は10月8日です。こちらはプレイステーション5と Steam でリリースされます。またプレイステーションストアと Steam にて本日から予約の受付を開始しています。これからご紹介する事前予約特典などもご確認いただきアクセスしてみてください。ではここからは商品ラインナップのご紹介です。本作のスタンダードエディションを事前予約していただくことで特典としてミラのマスクが付きます。そしてプレイステーション5限定でロビー・ザ・ラビットのマスクも入手可能です。続いてはデラックスエディションのご紹介です。デラックスエディションにはサイレントヒル2の世界観をより楽しんでいただくためのデジタルアートブック、サウンドトラック、そしてピラミッドヘッドのマスクが含まれます。アートブックはコンセプトアーティストの伊藤正弘さんがデザインしたクリーチャーのほか、登場するキャラクターやさまざまなロケーションのコンセプトアートが130枚以上収録されています。またサウンドトラックは今回も原作と同じように山岡明さんが手掛けており、原作の楽曲のアレンジ版のほか新曲も収録されています。どちらもシリーズファンの方には満足いただけるコンテンツになっていますので楽しみにしていただければと思います。そしてデラックスエディションも事前予約していただくことで特典としてミラのマスクとプレイステーション5限定でロビー・ザ・ラビットのマスクが入手可能です。さらに特別な特典としていち早くサイレントヒル2を楽しんでいただくことができる48時間の先行アクセス券をプレゼントいたします。こちらの一覧表で各エディションの特典をご確認ください。サイレントヒル2をより早く体験でき、世界観を丸ごと楽しんでいただけるデラックスエディションの事前予約がおすすめです。皆様ぜひご予約の上発売をお待ちください。さて コナミとゲームの開発会社であるブルーバーチームがタッグを組んでお送りするサイレントヒル2ですが、ブルーバーチームのスタッフからメッセージ映像を受け取っています。こちらをご覧ください。
I'm very excited for people to play this game. There's no one aspect that I could say that I want people to experience, because I want people to experience all of it. It's such a journey. It's such a big part of our lives, and I just want people to be able to see it.
I think the biggest challenge that we've had was actually how to make the game approachable for the newcomers who have not played the original, but at the same time to still retain the familiarity of the game that player remembers from 20 years ago.
Our goal from the very beginning was to maintain the game's atmosphere while modernizing the gameplay to make it competitive in 2024.
In the remake, the story remains largely the same. However, with the magic of modern technology, we were able to expand on some of its aspects.
The hardest was designing combat. We want to be as faithful as possible to the original game, but also we want players to feel satisfaction while playing, remembering that we need to fit in horror genre standards.
So when making a game with static cameras, you as a designer have much more control over what players sees, where they go, and so on. The change for the third-person perspective was a challenge. That being said, it's a chance for us to expand this world, to show the players new elements that were previously inaccessible, and just make this game richer.
The main thing that requires rethinking was the fog, because it was called classic in the original game, and it's a veil that covers the world and makes the player to feel even more isolated.
New technologies gives us a chance to do things that were not possible during the earlier generations of video games. For narrative, this is very visible in facial expressions. We can tell so much through just the subtle changes on characters' faces.
The presented gameplay footage shows a fragment of the city from the beginning of the game and sections in Brookhaven Hospital. The fight against monsters is prepared in a more tactical form, and it's mainly based on the varied designs of the enemies. James is not used to fighting, so his arsenal of attacks is limited. Adapting your approach to a situation will be the key to success. However, your playing style, among other things, determines what ending you will discover.
本当にサイレントヒル2を大好きな人たちがこのリメイクに関わっています。細部までこだわって作っていますのでご期待ください。さらにゲームの中でジェームス役、メアリーとマリア役を演じてくれたキャストのインタビューも届いています。こちらもご覧ください。
So I'm Luke Roberts, and I'm playing James Sunderland in the remake of Silent Hill 2.
My name is Salome Gunnarsdottir, and I play Mary/Maria.
When you're playing an iconic character such as James Sunderland, you obviously have to respect the original.
When playing these characters in this game, the thing that I paid most attention to was the original game.
So he is not an action hero by any means. He is just a guy who is a little lost at the top of this game, and in a sense of he is to a greater extent in a bewildered state. So it's very interesting charting his journey.
This one, we're trying to honor something that's already been made. And so it's not me creating something, it's me channeling something.
The tone of this game is very important, and the team at Bloober were very keen to create an incredible atmosphere for the gamers.
I do believe that this will be trying its very best to capture and recapture the atmosphere, the vibe, and the story, and sometimes like the literal words and moments of the original.
本作では 俳優の表情と演技をパフォーマンスキャプチャーすることで心理描写を強化していますので、ぜひ期待していただければと思います。ゲームについての情報はここまでとなります。続いては映画リターントゥサイレントヒルの最新情報が届いております。ご覧ください。
I came to adapt Silent Hill 2 with respect and passion. It's an act of passion for me. I consider that the four first games are a masterpiece, very modern and very transgressive piece of art. The second game is the most adult of all the Silent Hill. It's a story of James Sunderland. He has lost his beloved bride and he decided to go back to Silent Hill to find her. And he realized that basically the town has changed. It became something like a hell, his own hell. And he's going through all this circle of hell to find her back and find also somewhere a truth about himself. This film had an emotional level to the horror, and certainly because of that, the horror is even more disturbing, even more unsettling. I consider that the first film was like an epic journey for horror. This one is much more like a deep dive into the psychological horror. On the first film, production design of Silent Hill was the big thing. I remember that all my energy was on it. And on this one, I had the great surprise to realize that the people who were going to help me on the production design, but also on the makeup, but also on the costume, but also on every level of the film, I had in front of me very young technicians who knew the game, the film, and loved them. The level of enthusiasm that I met on this film to create that strange world of Silent Hill was quite unexpected. I was thinking to myself, okay, I will have to explain a lot this film to my crew. And in fact, no, I didn't have to, because there was a 2.0 generation of Silent Hill lovers, and that helped me a lot. And I think that the level of design on this film is so high because it's made by people who knew the film and the game. So that's very gratifying and very emotional somewhere.
Christoph is really faithful and respectful to Silent Hill, and that's why Konami has always been really supportive.
We are working on their property, and we are working on their, let's say, the word treasure. I kept one of the main ideas of the first film, which is that all the creatures are played by dancers and acrobats. If the first film has not aged badly, it's because the creatures were actually in front of the actor on the set. So all the monsters on this film are played by real persons with physical gift. They have created a level of strangeness and harmony into the monstrosity of these things, which I think is actually very disturbing. Akira Yamaoka is not only the composer of the first four original games of the franchise, he was also the producer and the director of the game. So Akira Yamaoka, through his music, has given to the game more than just the sound. He gave the soul of the game. And I have a great knowledge about soundtrack, but I don't know any other music which could be like the one of Silent Hill. Yes, Akira Yamaoka is on this film. That's very important for me, because I'm working on his creation. I never forgot that. It's exactly like adapting a great book. It's important to show respect and humility into this process.
いかがでしたでしょうか。映画の完成が楽しみになりますね。ゲームとは少し異なる解釈で作られたもう一つのサイレントヒル2。ゲームと映画をぜひとも両方体験してみてください。続いてはサイレントヒルシリーズの最新グッズ情報をご覧ください。
最初にご紹介するのはサイレントヒル2のグッズです。まずはグッドスマイルカンパニーの商品です。リメイク版サイレントヒル2よりシリーズ屈指の人気クリーチャーレッドピラミッドシングがネンドロイドになって登場です。オプションパーツとして付属する大ナタと槍を付け替えてお楽しみいただける仕様となっています。次の商品はこちら。 月光より犬エンド6分の1スケール貯金箱スタチューの予約受付がいよいよ本日より始まります。物語のすべては柴犬のミラが操作していたという隠しエンディング、通称犬エンドがスタチューになりました。単なるスタチューではなく、コンソールを貯金箱にすることで実用的なアイテムとなっています。ファナティックからはサイレントヒルに登場する様々なアイテムが実際の商品となって登場します。まずはコインパズルセットとなります。原作のサイレントヒル2において、ブルークリークアパート105号室にあるドレッサーのくぼみに入れる3枚のコインを再現しました。コインは3枚セットで、ゲーム内のパズルを模した特製ディスプレイボックスに入れてお届けします。続いてパープルブルキーカードとなります。こちらも原作のサイレントヒル2のブルックヘイブン病院にあるルイーズパズルの箱を開けるのに必要なパープルキーカードを再現しています。5000点限定、シリアルナンバーを封入してお届けします。ご紹介した2商品以外にもご覧のグッズをご用意しています。詳細はファナティックの公式ホームページをご確認ください。オフィシャルコナミショップからの商品をご紹介します。まずはジェームスジャケットです。サイレントヒル2の主人公であるジェームス・サンダーランドが原作で着ているアウターを再現したこちらのジャケットは、武骨なスタイルとミステリアスな魅力を醸し出しています。謎めいた主人公を体現したい方にはぴったりのアイテムです。ジェームスのジャケットを着ればサイレントヒルの陰鬱な雰囲気を感じ取れるかもしれません。続いてサイレントヒル2キーアートシャドーボックスです。リメイク版サイレントヒル2のキーアートを立体的に再現したシャドーボックス、ゲームの怪しげな雰囲気をご家庭のインテリアとしてお楽しみいただけます。その他にもオフィシャルコナミショップではご覧のグッズをご用意しています。続いてプレイステーション5で無料配信中のサイレントヒルザ・ショートメッセージのご紹介です。現在までにグローバルで250万以上のダウンロードをいただいており、これまでのサイレントヒルシリーズのテーマを踏襲しつつ、現代に生きる人々へのメッセージを盛り込んだ短編作品です。これまでのサイレントヒルシリーズから独立した作品として遊んでいただけますので、ぜひプレイしてみてください。そしてそのサイレントヒルザ・ショートメッセージからも魅力的なグッズが登場いたします。月光より桜ヘッド6分の1スケールスタチューがただいま予約受付中です。コンセプトアーティスト伊藤正宏氏の完全監修を経て、桜が象徴する儚い美しさと裏世界でプレイヤーを精神的に追い込む心にまとわりつく恐ろしさを宿したスタチューになっています。不気味さの中に存在する美を表現するために、体のラインや足の造形にも細心の注意が現れています。続いてはサイレントヒルザ・ショートメッセージオリジナルサウンドトラックです。サイレントヒルシリーズを手掛けてきた山岡明氏が全楽曲の制作を行っています。80曲以上の大ボリュームの中にはゲームに入れられなかった未公開楽曲も収録されており、ファン必聴のアルバムになっています。現在 Spotify や Apple Music などの各種音楽ダウンロードサービス、ストリーミングサービスで配信中です。
皆さんいかがでしたでしょうか。サイレントヒルシリーズの世界観を表現したグッズをぜひお買い求めください。それでは最後に本日ここまで皆さんにお届けしてきた中での一番のトピックスをもう一度。サイレントヒル2は10月8日発売、そして本日から予約開始となっております。ぜひ皆さんこの配信の後にチェックをお願いします。本日はようやくサイレントヒル2の新しい情報をお届けすることができて嬉しく思っています。ぜひ発売まで楽しみにしていただければと思います。またこのサイレントヒルトランスミッションでは今後も継続してサイレントヒルシリーズの情報を皆さんにお届けしてまいります。続報を楽しみにしていてください。本日はご視聴いただきありがとうございました。
Hey guys, we're having some latency difficulties. Hold on a second. Okay. We're back and we are just going to have to listen to us talk back to ourselves very like delayed, so it's all good, you know. Things just kind of happen, right?
Things just happen.
Things totally just happen. So anyone who's listening right now, can you
I told you that this was gonna happen.
Yeah, can you tell us how loud we are for you? Like, is it loud enough? This is so fun. Okay. Love the depth and complexity of the storyline here. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It's a crazy journey. It's a crazy story. Cuz like especially the first time you play it and you don't really know what's going on, you get to like that pivotal moment basically at the end of the game where you really understand the story.
I think it's so funny that we just stop and we start listening to ourselves again. Like that's like we'll start talking again and then we'll stop actually talking and listen to the same thing.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's liberating. It's funny. Like, I mean, it's helpful. That's why I stop and I listen because I want to make sure. Because it's weird. It's like when you like you just like have a brief pause and you hear us laugh. But it's like when you're trying to maybe you have like a headset on and you're trying to talk in game chat, right? You could sometimes hear yourself echo. Yeah. It's very distracting sometimes. Or like maybe if you're recording an instrument and you have headset on and you're hearing like the things you're doing with the instrument are not in time with how you're hearing it in the headset, you know.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so I have a lot of thoughts on what we just watched. There was definitely a lot of things happening.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of different like portions of the transmission too. Like they were all just like happening, you know. And I'm like, hold on. But so the game, October 8th, 2024.
I'm excited.
it's like in time for you.
Yeah, for me.
You know what I mean? When is that?
Like what day?
Yeah, like, I mean, games usually come out on Fridays, right? So, like...
I don't know. I feel like that's a...
I always... You know what I do? So
It's on a Tuesday.
It's on a Tuesday? That happens too.
I was like, I wasn't sure if my birthday was
yeah.
what day this weekend it would be on. But
I'm gonna be off that day. Let's all like commence, you know? We'll hang out at midnight and just do the damn thing, right? Like, why not? Just because I'm however many years old doesn't mean I can't still have fun, damn it. I know it's relatable. Whatever. So, like, yeah. October 8th, we've got a date. And that's like, damn, less than 3 months away.
yeah.
That's crazy. You know, there's lots of speculation it would happen, you know, September around, because the original came out in September, so it didn't happen. We'll see.
Almost.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the date, October 8th, watching the gameplay, there were a lot of things that they seemed to be kind of clunky.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's because, the stream.
Right.
Because, latency. But, yeah, sometimes the movements looked staggered a little.
Yeah, I did notice. And then you're like, I don't like how James is like, he's moving around all clunky. And I was like, oh, yeah. That's a little weird.
I mean, I guess when you think about
but maybe it's
the
like
original,
the awkwardness that they were talking about when they were reviewing it, and they were like, he's not used to fighting and like navigating in this world, so he's gonna be a little clumsy. So maybe.
Yeah, I get that. It's just like it looked like the mechanic though of it. You know, it wasn't like a smooth clumsy, even though that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It was like glitchy. And glitchy. The nurses were very, very glitchy. I mean, they're already they're spazzy, but I've never known them to traditionally glitch in that sense. And if they were a little too far away to tell because of the darkness, the atmosphere around them. Every once in a while, I'll just hear us talk in the background.
Yeah.
It's like primarily me just speaking and you're saying, uh-huh.
Yeah. That's the whole thing.
But I mean, okay, so the nurses being glitchy. Okay, so your experience with it. We just finished the game this past Friday.
Yeah.
They weren't glitchy to you.
No.
Like, how did they look?
Like that.
How would you describe their movement?
Oh. I don't know. It wasn't like super, like, there were no fast head movements for me, at least that I saw.
They were like more clunky, fast, like
yeah,
like contortionism,
like
kind of,
clicking
real movement,
like
real movements.
Yeah,
just uncomfortable, unnatural, but real.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. While this one seemed like fast and kind of unnatural. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What do you think of that? Like,
it's
It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I have only been through it once, so
right.
You know, for me to like, right now, it just doesn't make sense for me to be upset on like those smaller details, quite yet. So, I mean, I don't know. For me, it's all right. For you, I don't know how it affects you.
I'm open to it.
Okay.
Because I mean, essentially, these things were created by this guy, right? You know, and. Who's to say the shit you're not creating isn't fucking glitching out?
Right.
You know, and it might add more to the distortion of his reality because it's glitching, you know. The dude has the fog surrounding him is the fog in his mind. You know what I mean? He's like, what the fuck is going on? I've been wired to look for my wife now. Because I got a letter. And, you know, when you look at this, like, the story from, like, a perspective that doesn't know it and appreciate it, or maybe just leave the appreciation part out. It's just someone who doesn't know it. They're just looking at it from a different perspective. They're probably thinking, what the fuck, this isn't real. Yeah. This isn't, you know, but that's the fun of it, right? But it feels real. That's what, like, sets it apart, I think, from other psychological horror titles, survival horror titles. Like, it's because it's just, like, it's human, even though it isn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People can just go crazy. You know?
Yeah.
They can just, like, lose touch with reality over trauma or anything, you know? It's crazy. But not crazy in the sense that, you know, like, you're a fucking loony bat. You know what I mean? It's just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Naya Dev says, can't wait for the Resident Evil remake of Silent Hill 2. And we don't have a camera on us, but I did do your finger, your Italian, you know, the mwah, you know, that's good. That kind of thing. Yeah, that's really fucking funny. Naya Dev. I mean, how could I really disagree with you? Maria, let's talk about it. What do you think, Naya? Did you think that Maria kind of looked like Ashley from Resident Evil 4 a little bit? I don't know. Maybe it was just me. What did you think, Jeff?
Well, I don't know. I didn't have any more to say.
Those
like,
are the only words.
Because I don't know what did you say, Ashley? I don't know what she looks like.
Ashley, okay, all
So
right.
I can tell you.
All right, that's fair. Guys, should I pull up a picture of Ashley real quick? I think maybe I should, because why the hell shouldn't I? You guys might not know what I'm talking about. You know?
I sure didn't.
Resident Evil 4. Oh, baby. Okay, so you see it?
Yeah. Okay.
This is OG Ashley from the 2005 release. And this is how they kind of remade her. And if I Google Maria Silent Hill 2 remake right now, I probably am not going to find anything at the moment. Right. So I'll just let you guys tell me if I'm a loony bat. Full circle. But yeah, so this was her. This is she. Who is she? Let's see, man. So, Naya Dev. I think the old graphics were designed in a way to evoke an eeriness to the game, and the new models look weird, if anything, and it looks like they got rid of the camera angles. That's iconic for... I agree. Yeah. I totally agree with that. And, you know, they're trying to make something that's competitive in what is enjoyed in today's market, I guess. And I mean, you're absolutely freaking right. Resident Evil has been redesigned and repurposed that way. Resident Evil lost its fixed camera angles as well. And, you know, I'm kind of okay with it. I'm cool with Resident Evil losing them. You know, Silent Hill, like, it's just like a very iconic thing, a very much a part of the experience of the game. The art direction of, you know, even just the cameras. I had a clock set, like an alarm set on my phone for the Silent Hill transmission earlier, and it has been going the freak off. I just keep snoozing it. I should just turn it off. I'm so sorry. Let's see here. But yeah, I'm going to reskim that message. The old graphics were designed in a way to evoke an eeriness to the game. Yeah, absolutely. You know, like we were just talking about a moment ago with the nurses, the glitchiness or whatever. Like, a lot of the spook of the monsters was the fact that they were kind of far away, in a sense, like kind of like tucked and locked in the shadows.
I think the other part of the spookiness is to have, like, when you had to just keep changing the camera angles. So, like, when you were to step out of a door and a monster wasn't there originally, but you can hear it, but you can't see it, that was part of the spookiness. So now I don't really know how they're gonna, unless like they're not gonna have those angles like she was talking about. So that takes away some of the spookiness in that aspect.
Yeah. I mean, so okay, I personally loved how they showcased when he went into Brookhaven.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved the atmosphere of it. It felt and looked like Brookhaven Hospital. It did. It really did. Even without the fixed camera angles, I was watching that and I kept saying that's scary. I'm not joking. You know, the way that they presented our first exposure to what the nurses look like, it was great. I thought it was great.
Mm-hmm.
The way that it moved, the way that it walked out, not knowing you were there.
Yeah,
it kept going, or did it know that you were there? You know, it is crazy, man. That I thought that part was done very well. You know, it's so funny. We keep hearing our voices come back. So, Naya. But when it comes to Silent Hill, they use the camera angles to creep you out. Like, being in hallways and hearing something walking towards you and not being able to see it just adds to the paranoia. Oh, man, for sure. You're already, like, especially the first time you play the game, you're like, what the hell is going on? What am I doing? I'm confused. Essentially, right? Like, you almost kind of, like, they did such a great job in, like, making you feel, I mean, for me personally, making you feel just as delusional. Even though you don't know it, you're just like, what is going on? Like, some of those puzzles, that's what makes the game my favorite game ever. It's ridiculous. I can acknowledge that it can be ridiculous, you know?
Like that one
I can't wait.
The one puzzle that really kind of just made me mad was the one box with like all those locks on it, and it was a box within a box within a box, and then there was like a hair. I was like, wow. I did all this.
I remember
piece
you.
of hair.
Oh
no,
my goodness.
because when he first originally opened the box, he was like, "There's nothing in here," and I was like, "What? What do you mean?"
Oh my goodness, man. I remember watching you. I was just looking at you, and I wanted to see what happened when you went through it, and you were like, "Are you kidding?" You were like mad.
I was mad,
and it's so funny that you were that mad because I mean, yeah, that's fair. Like a freaking piece of hair out of everything there. Just yank it from Maria, maybe. Hey,
like,
hey, girl, can I have some hair?
I was like, this hospital is so dirty. Not one place in any corner was there a hair.
No, but literally, you have Maria. That's what I'm saying. Like, she don't care. She's not even there anyway. You know what I mean? Like, we created her a little bit. A lot of it. Let me tell you something. So, guys, you know what? How inappropriate. How rude of me. Thanks for joining the JHB, man. Thanks for coming and just stopping by and listening and chatting with the Just Happy Burger. My name is Calypso.
And I'm Jess.
And yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. So anyway, to swoop back into this, Maria's hair.
Oh my gosh.
Give us some hair, girl. You know what I'm saying? It was a ridiculous thing, but I mean, also, that made you crazy, right? Did it make you feel a little crazy?
Yeah, I was like, wow, I did all that.
Like, it made you spiral a little in your brain. Your little, like, macaroni noodle. Just, little, like, you know how the DNA spins?
Yeah.
Oh, man. No, yeah. I just hope they recognize the sound design of the original and keep that feeling. Like in the beginning of Silent Hill 2, walking that trail with the sounds of a weird ass dog thing running at you, around you. Yeah, man. And it's crazy. Like that sound that you hear is literally, it's got to be one at max 2 sound samples just re-triggered. And I say 2 just to, in reality, I really think it's just one. It's the same sound being re-triggered, but it's so effective. I'm not saying we should be sitting here like re-triggering sounds. Like if they were just re-triggering sounds and the way they've presented this remake, it would look fucking ridiculous. They might. Who knows? Then maybe it'll work. But Akira Yamaoka is one of my, if not my favorite composers of all time. That's one of the big reasons this channel was started, you know. And all these years, it's felt like we've been locked in a dream with him because he just keeps going. He's like, I am Silent Hill. You can't. I'm here. Yeah, man. But yeah, the sound design though. One of the greatest things I think that he did was just use silence, like he said. You know, I work so hard at making some of these sounds, and I think so much about it.
Have you seen?
What's that? Are you? Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, she
Am I
said
missing?
it keeps spinning where she is.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we were getting some live feedback. Oh my goodness. Yeah, but anyway, the sound design, critical. I will say, I mean, I noticed the sound of the radio was significantly changed.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know. But, I think it was the, oh my goodness. I lost my train of thought.
The sound of the radio?
Yeah, I trailed off.
Oh, okay.
You know, sometimes you just lose your thoughts, man.
Sorry. That happened to you, you know?
But yeah, the nurses.
Oh my gosh.
They were creepy, in my opinion, and I loved how dark the atmosphere was in Brookhaven. I love how it was presented. But I mean, I feel like we didn't see a whole lot of the apartments and such, so.
That's pretty funny.
I'd like to see some Parasite Eve. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All the fucking way.
Oh
Excuse
my
my language. I love Parasite Eve.
Yeah, you only introduced me to the music and a little bit of the gameplay, and just from that, like, I'm like, yeah, for sure. I would play it, and I would watch or play a remake if they make it.
You know, and unfortunately, I really do feel like that's something that might not ever happen.
Yeah.
I don't. Square Enix just lost that. It's just gone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know how to explain that. I don't know. But the composer of that game, both of the games, also one of my favorite composers of all time, Kingdom Hearts.
Yes.
Legend of Mana.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so many games. Street Fighter. Dude. Theme of Guile is so freaking good, man. It's crazy.
You like music from Castlevania too, right?
Yeah, Castlevania's music is freaking top tier too. Like, you know, Capcom sound team. I wish we could access more of these soundtracks on Spotify.
Yeah.
I love Spotify.
Like,
I
would
awesome.
I would kill to have Silent Eve on Spotify, so I could just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny, like, when you go on there, you search for the song sometimes, and it's like some random thing that remade it.
Yeah.
And it's like, this isn't right. This doesn't sound right. This doesn't feel right. Oh my goodness. I just hope they recognize the sound. I'd like to see some Parasite Eve. I actually found your channel through your Silent Hill inspired ambiences. That's the type of stuff I leave on for hours and zone out. I also listen to Midwitch Music's channel too. Hey, Midwitch! Midwitch is a friend. Yeah, Midwitch is super solid. I love to see people come and hang out over on my channel when I know that they are regulars over, with Midwitch. Midwitch is another musical artist that I've connected with over the last couple of months, and they do a lot of video game inspired ambiences and soundtrack work too, and one of those is Silent Hill, Parasite Eve 2, as well, not 2, but also that too. And yeah, we kind of hit it off. That's really cool. I just love when people come over and hang out on my channel and say that they came from Midwitch, or the other way around, whatever. Thank you so much for listening. That's really cool. That means a lot to me. Yeah, I put a lot of soul into it, So it's really cool when people are actually listening to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, man. So hey, thanks so much. A Parasite Eve remake would be amazing. Yeah, totally. And I wonder how they would execute that in today's format. I guess it would kind of look a little bit like maybe like how Final Fantasy VII's remake looked. Because that's a JRPG too. I'd have a mind to pull up. What's up? Ooh, are the nachos done?
I reheated them. I guess you pulled them out.
Oh. Yeah, it was beeping a lot downstairs, so I was like, how long has it been beeping? Because we were in the middle of the transmission, so.
At about 7:41, I was like, hey, I don't know if my wife took the nachos out, but if not, they've been in there for 40 minutes.
Can you bring us some nachos?
Sure.
That would be awesome. Yeah. Hey guys in the chat, do you want some nachos? Trust me, she made a lot.
Oh my gosh. Can you hear anyone talking?
No, I just type in the chat.
Ah.
Put some cheeseburgers in the chat if you can hear.
You talking?
If you can. I don't remember where I was going with that, man. You know what I mean?
If you can hear, please let me know.
All right. I don't want to veer off of this subject too much, right? Okay, so let's get back to the like. Laura is still a little shit.
Oh my gosh.
I wasn't sure.
Mm-hmm.
That first encounter was really cheesy in a cringy way. Yeah, she always has been a little shit, and she always will be. In the original, you fart face. She does that, gets all high and pitched, and runs off into the dark, shutting you into that room. Little shit.
Constantly locking us out, running away.
But this one, they took a different direction with that. And it's funny because I was really hoping we'd see that scene for some reason, and we did.
Mm-hmm.
It's all right, okay, but yeah. So they took a definitely a different approach with that scene. She can be like, "You fart face," but not like that.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't like, "Hey," But all right. So okay, I feel like the nurses looked pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they worked hard on the nurses.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the lying figure. The acid spitter. I had someone who was watching this and I probably shouldn't even say it out loud, so I won't. But let's just say it looked like something with teeth. Something with teeth. Diction is done at the tip of the tongue with the teeth. What are those called? We used to say them in theater in high school. That's like something that we would say.
Oh.
Like, unique New York. You know you love unique New York. It's like those. It's like, you know how you have those tongue twisters or like, you know, those things.
You're asking
or like
me
Sally
what
sold.
Yeah,
whatever. By the whatever.
I don't know what it's called. I can't remember. It's
A Parasite Eve. I love nachos. Also, I'm rewatching the trailer and everyone in the comments is saying Angela got stung by bees. You know, Naya, I want to tell you something. I really hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, and I apologize if I'm not. I went down to pull the nachos out of the oven because it kept beeping. And when I went down, that's when they showed Angela. And when I came up, Jeff was like, they showed Angela. And I was like, Angela, who's that? I like literally was spacing, man, because I was stressed out because I was like, how long have the nachos been in there?
Yeah.
But anyway, I missed that. So Naya, I gotta go and find that right now. Well, shit. You guys want to rewatch the trailer again?
Oh, you know what I really liked that I saw was the maps.
Yeah, I really wanted to talk about that too.
I really want to know if it's like the same premise of like Xing out the rooms when you leave them, because without that I would have been lost for sure.
They've got to. The maps look pretty good. They looked like how the OG did,
Yeah,
but
did.
I couldn't tell you that it was 100%. Right?
But
like I want to pull
really
it up.
similar to me.
I really want to do a side-by-side comparison. What?
I didn't mean to crunch in your ears like
Oh,
that.
yeah. We've quickly turned this into a mukbang. I don't know about anyone in the chat, man, or you, dude, but like I can't stand listening to that.
Yeah.
But people
So
like it. Exactly. Hey, Real MVP just brought us up some nachos, guys. Here's to you. Oh, seashells by the seashore.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Angel.
Yes, Angel.
Angel. Angle. Angel. I'm just saying it any way I can. I hope I'm pleasing you. Oh, yes. Just say it. You know?
So Naya Dev says, also, I just noticed they made James look like a normal, handsome dude now. I feel like the original James had like that depressing mental trauma look on his face. Ugh, why they doing this?
You know... That's all I got. No, I'll give you a structured response. You know, I agree. Yeah. He was plain.
Yeah.
But not. I don't know. He did look like he was in distress.
All the time.
At all times, but also, I get what you're saying. Like, it wasn't dead. Like, OG James felt just dead to me.
Yeah, this guy definitely shows
dead.
a little bit more emotion.
Right.
And reaction.
And you hear it in his voice.
Mm-hmm.
The voice acting, how do you feel about James? What did he sound like to you? Like, I mean, how did he sound to you, can you remember how the original?
I mean, yeah, the original James was a little bit more monotone. Like, I remember when we first, met Angela in the graveyard, and I accidentally walked up and interacted with her again. And she was like, aren't you supposed to be looking for someone? And James was like, oh, right. Or something like that. Or like,
he's like, he's stupid.
Yeah.
Like
I was like,
you know?
What is going on? Like,
Yeah.
why are you talking like this? What's happening with you? But, I don't know. I got used to it after playing it. And then this guy, yeah, I mean, he's different.
I think it's because during that time, it was an Eastern developer trying to make Western people.
Okay.
And so it was a little awkward. It was a little cheesy. Resident Evil. Oh my goodness. The cheese. You know, it's a lot of these titles at that time were really, trying to mimic a different culture in a sense. So I think that might be a part of that.
Okay.
Like trying to be able to translate it into English speaking and carry over that same emotion and understanding. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like when you're watching like anime, right? If you're watching it like dubbed and you put the subs on it, they'll be like, they won't line up completely. Yeah. It'll be like, what? I feel like it's kind of like the same thing. I mean, for goodness sakes, Maria was modeled after Christina Aguilera. I mean, she's literally wearing what Christina Aguilera wore to some award show back in the day.
Oh.
You know? And that's one of those funny little Easter eggs of that game. It's like, that's what we look like. Shit. Yeah. Well, tell me about the maps, man. Like, what was it that you liked so much? What was so endearing to you?
I like that they didn't change it much. I think, I don't know, even though I just played it, it like gave me a little sense of nostalgia looking at that map. But yeah, you know, I was like, oh, that's something that I've noticed that I've played through just once, but like, that's a cool thing because I remember that. Like, wow.
It's the only thing you remember.
The maps, because they helped me so much. I had to rely on them the whole time. I'd walk out of a door and immediately check the map. Like, that's how much I use the map, so. Yeah. I would get so confused.
You guys, when, it's unfortunate, so, if you ever find anyone on Reddit who is like, I used to defend the HD collection, it's probably me. I used to defend the HD collection tooth and nail, right? Because it never gave me any of the issues a lot of people were reporting. So I was like, people are just pissed off. ADR took a weird turn, you know, from the perspective of most fans. They weren't like I guess maybe ready to accept that, or maybe it just didn't work well, you know, whatever it might be. But, you know, they would report that it was, you know, just hella buggy.
Yeah.
Very buggy. And I'd be like, you guys are crazy, you silly little loony bats. It's fine. It's just, you know, it's been upscaled in a weird way to where like their faces kind of look different.
Yeah.
The environments are blotchy a little. They're not as spooky. They're not as fog-filled. But I never had any like actual mechanical, programmatical issues with the game, right? And then until I played it with you. And yeah, we had been working on the game I don't know, for like the last month and a half maybe. We've been hanging out like every Friday or whatever, trying to get through it. Man, I was looking at those nachos. I
want to eat them so bad.
I just forgot.
They're too much.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I'm talking a lot, so you could just eat.
It would be you talking a lot and then me crunching on the other side. So
Just leave. Just take the plate out and
just go home.
Go eat. Just get in your car and drive home. What the hell were we talking about? Obviously, the Silent Hill 2 remake, but shit.
Well, let's retrace our steps. You know, we started talking about
the HD collection.
Yeah.
So yeah. So we've been playing through it for like the last month and a half or whatever, and so we beat it. You know, you beat it.
With help from you.
Yeah, I was there with you every step of the way. ready to help you with any ridiculous puzzle.
I was like, I'm gonna need help on these puzzles.
The doors and the hotel at the end. I was like, it's Scooby-Doo!
Oh, man.
They really did Scooby-Doo.
I was like, oh no.
But anyway, so we defeated the game Friday, and it was so crazy because my point here, what I'm trying to say is that like it really freaking stinks that your first experience and memory of the game is having to restart it sometimes because you walked into a room and it didn't load the map, so you were in the dark, and then you could go anywhere you wanted.
Yep.
But you couldn't because you couldn't see anything and there was nothing around.
Right. I was running through a dark room and ending up in different rooms on the map.
Insidious, the Lost Chapter.
Right. Oh my gosh.
I just watched, Naya Dev says, I just watched the original scene of James meeting Angela the first time to compare the voices. Not gonna lie, the voice acting in the original was kind of goofy sounding, lol.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you went back and watched it. And like you're with me. It is not good. And that's okay. That's what adds to it. It's still gonna be my favorite game of all time.
Yeah, we definitely did have our moments of making fun of their voices, though.
Oh, for sure. I was like, man, this is not good. and the audio is another problem of the game. I was like, damn! Like, we would go from like a, you're supposed to take care of me, to,
yeah.
Like, it was just like so freaking like from a sustained level of audio to I'm at a fucking rock concert, and but like with the voices though too, like you know, like Eddie was like it was so loud, and I mean it already was in the OG, right? But like it wasn't mixed well.
Right. There were multiple times where we had to turn it down.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, I hope we didn't wake anybody up. Like,
oh, they said Naya says like sounds like voice acting from a cheesy 90s drama show, LOL or something. Yeah, it's so cheesy. It's funny because like at the time when they were making these games, you know, using Western influences and actors, because they were like, let's get people who can speak and have English accents, North American accents, not English. Like I'm from the UK.
Right.
It's the same thing with Resident Evil. These games that were made in Japan during that time, they didn't have the access that we do now to the resources they needed to complete the vision they had. So they would hire just who they could, right? For the most part. So that's why Angela, she's like 16 years old, dude. She sounds like an older woman because she's voiced by a 40-year-old.
Right.
Like, I'm very curious to know if they're gonna keep those ages correct.
Oh.
Because Laura, to me, in this trailer, this gameplay, she feels like she's older. She doesn't feel as childish.
Right,
even though she's very immature, right? She's a little shit.
Yeah, like she's supposed to be like, what, 8?
She is.
In the game?
8 or 9.
Something like that. It was like her birthday or something.
Yeah, last week. I turned 8 last week. Yeah, she's 8. Yeah. Just replay. It's probably 9, right? I'm not wrong. But anyway.
But yeah, I can see what you're saying with her.
Yeah.
I didn't know that Angela was supposed to be 16. I thought she was older.
Right, and they give you that feeling because the design of her kind of goes with her voice, you know? Man. Map system. The map system. I'm looking at our notes. We were like writing notes as we were watching. And the map system, it does look really cool.
Yeah.
I like how it looks. It's immersive. It feels like I'm like, oh shit, I'm looking at the map in real time. So I wonder how that's gonna. You clicked right. We were doing a joint wave, brainwave thing there. How is that going to work in a situation where there is an enemy?
Like, is he gonna be able to pull it out? Yeah. And is it going to?
Did you see Pyramid Head at all?
No.
Exactly.
Not in the
game. No,
game.
I didn't even see mannequins.
No.
right?
Yeah.
Like,
well, maybe. I mean, I could have missed it.
Maybe.
But like, I didn't. I definitely didn't see Pyramid Head.
Naya, did you see Pyramid Head? Did you see any mannequins?
I think we saw the nurses in the.
I saw like Pyramid Head in the behind the scenes shit. For the film, which
I was like,
I can't wait to talk about
shoes.
that. What?
I was like, look at his shoes. I'm not used to him looking so normal. Like in people clothes.
Who?
Pyramid Head.
Mm-hmm.
I lost you for a second there. Hello.
I'm eating these nachos, y'all. So, the weapons. So, okay. As soon as the gameplay started, I was immediately like, show me the map.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, I want to see the inventory screen, and I want to see how the health is monitored. What's that situation like? We kind of saw maybe how the health will be monitored, and maybe it might be happening. I turn to look at Jeff, and Jeff is slowly scooting the chair out of the room so so they can take a bite, so they can eat a whole like nacho, like a tortilla. You know what's funny is they probably can still hear you. It's a loud little crispy crack.
I tried my best.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the hallway, like.
I'm in the hallway all the way over there, man. So yeah. The inventory system. Iconic. I feel like a silly goose saying the word iconic about something, but that's how I feel. That's kind of what it is, right? We didn't get to see how they do the inventory. But what we did see was in the gameplay, James shooting at a nurse, I believe with the handgun, right? A couple times.
Was it the handgun or the shotgun?
I don't know. I feel like it was the handgun.
Spirits.
Are you okay?
Did you not see the light glitch? Glitch, you know.
The nurses.
Flicker, I meant.
That happens a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Spooky spooks. So, the nurse. So, with the handgun, he shot at the nurse a couple times and then ran up to it and immediately started hitting it with a pipe.
Mm-hmm.
And that, to me, looks like there might be either a filter on, like, one of the buttons on the controller to filter through the, like,
the weapon
take out melee, take out gun, firearm, or it just filters a weapon. But that would take too long, I think. You know,
with as many weapons as you can get.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Or there's an automatic slot. I mean, a manual slot assignment in the inventory screen that allows you to assign it to a D-pad.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, like, Resident Evil 5 did that. I loved that game. We still haven't finished that. Anyway.
You know why?
Hey. Yeah. Crazy times, man. I didn't see either, but I saw... Let me see here. But I saw a comment on the new trailer vid that said, they learned that players loved mannequins in Silent Hill 2 and decided that now also main character will move like one. LOL. Naya, you're so funny. We are together on this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Abso-frickin-lutely. I think that you are having the same thoughts and opinions. I could be wrong, but I think I'm right. I may be wrong, but I may be right. Too much energy, you gotta stop. I'm just really freaking excited. You know, I think that they could have shown me anything and I would have still be excited. I just love this series. I love this game so much. I'm willing to try it out. I'll be hopeful about it. or at least optimistic, right? I'll remain optimistic, but also keep it neutral, baby. Yeah, so, okay, we've got an October 8th release date.
Yes.
The gameplay, in my opinion, and I would love to know your thoughts, Jeff. Do you think that it might get pushed back potentially, given the fact that the gameplay seemed to be not... the gameplay and the environment, just the whole thing, just seemed to not be completely very, very well polished?
I think it's possible. Like, I don't really take any, like, games nowadays, like, when they first say that they're gonna release it, like, you know, I take it with a grain of salt, because usually those type of things, they get pushed back for whatever reason. Like, showing, a trailer of it and getting negative feedback, you want to polish it a little more before you release it. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I can see them pushing it back.
Oh my goodness. Ooh! We have some Cyrillic in the chat. MK Guardian. I'm so sorry, I can't read that. Let me see if there's a way for me to copy and paste this on my mobile. Oh, you got 2 messages. I really would love to respond to you. Hold on a second. Oh man. Are you able to copy and paste that? It won't let me. I don't have a dual monitor set up right now, so if I try to go elsewhere, I don't want to like share my entire screen and personal, you know, stuff with everyone. So you can't either?
No.
MK Guardian. I want to respond to you. I can't figure out what you've said, and that makes me feel awful. So, can we like talk in emojis real quick? Tell me how you're feeling. I don't know. How do you feel about the gameplay and trailer that we got for the remake? Tell me in emojis. But yeah, I think that we could probably potentially see this not come out on time, or it comes out on time because there's a lot of pressure on Konami to get this game out. And where? Ooh. Very quiet. Is the stream quiet or? That's what the Russian dude is saying, LOL. Oh boy. They might be Russian, they might not be, I don't know. You know? I feel like Cyrillic is in multiple places.
Couldn't help you.
You know? Ooh. You know, oh, and a smiley face. Well, I hope it's a good smiley face and not a sarcastic one, just because I don't know what you're saying. You know what I mean? But welcome to the channel. Welcome to the stream. We're just kind of chatting it up over initial thoughts and feelings and such over the Silent Hill 2 remake trailer and gameplay. Okay. Yeah, let's see here. The movie. Do you want to move on to the movie? Well, before we do that, dude, tell me, what was it like playing Silent Hill 2? And then, how did you feel throughout? You know what? I'll let you answer the first question.
What was your question? What did you ask me?
Just eating them nachos.
I'm trying.
I wish I had some hot sauce.
I wish I had some more.
There might be more.
Oh, how did I feel about playing Silent Hill 2 for the first time?
Yes. Initial thoughts.
What
was that like?
I mean, I want to say at first that I was like, ooh, this is spooky, you know? And like, you kind of jump right into it. There's no like kind of
Wait, your initial thought was ooh spooky?
Yeah.
Like before playing it? Or like
when I was playing it. Well, my initial thought was like, oh my god, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this with these controls.
Right? I remember your first go at it when we first put it on up here. It was tough. And then you came back the next week, and it was like you had been playing it. You had played it before. It was like it was nothing.
Well,
and I was like, did she practice?
There's no way.
I love it. You know?
I feel like for me, it had been a while that I had played a game with like those kind of controls. Like maybe when I was younger, and I was like, oh my god, I spent my money on this game, so I'm gonna learn how to play it. You know? But
which game?
I don't remember what game it was, but like just a game with like similar controls.
Oh, the tank controls? Yeah. Oh, I love them. It makes it spooky.
I couldn't, for the life of me, in the very beginning of the game, get to the car door to get the item.
You couldn't, yeah.
It took me like 5 to 10 minutes to get to the car.
And I gave you some harsh, brutal love.
You were like, you need to do this.
I was like,
you have to do it the whole game.
Yes. I was like, if you can't get the map now, we might as well turn it off. And I realized that could be insensitive, but it's the truth.
I was like, listen.
I'm a jerk. Everyone stops subbing.
I was like, listen, I am trying my hardest. That was my response to you. I was like, I'm trying.
You were, though. I saw it. And I was like, oh, she can do it. And so I put a little spell in the works, and now magic worked, and now you can do it. Just kidding, I didn't do that. Or did I?
Witchy. Anyways.
Silent Hill.
But yeah, I mean, once I got the hang of it, it was easier to pick it up every time, like, we played it. But yeah, that was my initial thought, was like, oh my god, am I even going to be able to play this? And do what I need to do, because walking's hard.
And yeah, but then you did it. Yep. And then you couldn't stop running.
You told me to run.
You were like, I'm going to run around. Guys, listen, this is how Jeff played the game. I played the game. I sat there as an innocent bystander watching her. An innocent bystander. I sat there watching her. That's creepy, Naya. Have a good sleep, MK Guardian.
Well, he said, that it was like 3 a.m. where he was, so he was gonna go to bed.
Oh. I'm sorry, I've been just talking. Yeah, well, I just not sleep now, but time to 3 in the... Oh, so it's 3 in the morning and you should go to sleep, but you're interested in the Silent Hill transmission. Okay. Sorry for my English, but thanks, Google. What helped translate my word? That is so sweet. You don't have to apologize. Thank you so much for trying. I wish that I could have done better.
We really did try.
Yeah, next time, MK Guardian, come back and I'll be Googling you too. I'll be Googling your words. But have a good sleep, MK Guardian. I'll see you in your dreams. I'm making a pizza. I love pizza. Anyway. Oh, wait. It's about Silent Hill 2? Damn! But why do they call it transmission? Transmission means we have a message to send to you. So I think that's why they're like, hey, we're going to talk to you about Silent Hill. We have a message for you about it. Does that help?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's a good...
I was laughing about Naidev's next message.
Oh my god, the first time I played any Silent Hill was Silent Hill 1, and I was like, nah, these graphics are so old, I ain't gonna get scared. Then I literally got jump scared by something, and I fell out of my chair. Dude, oh my god, fun story. Well, hold on. First time... These graphics are old. When did you first play it? I'm very curious. Like, if your thought was that the graphics were that old, I'm just curious to know, like, where my audience is. Like, when did you first experience Silent Hill? One of my best friends is sitting next to me right now and didn't experience it until, this past month and a half.
Yeah.
And,
I saw the movie, but, like, I hadn't had any introduction to the games and gameplay until, a month and a half ago, like she said. But it's been fun. I've enjoyed it.
You've got to play the Born from a Wish scenario now, so you can understand the Maria stuff that's going on, man.
Okay. Because I was confused by her.
You're supposed to be, dude. That game is very much like watching Donnie Darko. Like, what the fuck is going on? You have to do it a few times.
Yeah,
then read about it.
I've only seen Donnie Darko once. And the main, like, grab that I was having was, like, why are all these celebrities in this movie? I didn't know it was going to be as star-studded as it was. I was like, Drew Barrymore's in this?
That's what... I remember we were talking about that, and you told me that. And I was like, that's so wild to me. That's your experience. Because that's not how it was then.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh, all these stars are in it. It was like, okay, a couple of bigger names are in this. Patrick Swayze and, like, Drew Barrymore. Fuck. She just walks out like, what's going on in that movie, Yeah. I too started on Silent Hill 1, but on PS3. How in Silent Hill 2? MK, do you mean, are you saying that you're now playing Silent Hill 2? Or you've also played Silent Hill 2? Hold on, let me reread that. I too started to the Silent 1, but on PS3.
I think he's saying he started his Silent Hill experience with Silent Hill 1. Like, Naidev. But on PS3 and not the original, like, PS1.
But he said, or they said, how in Silent 2. So I'm trying to understand that next little part. I played it on my PS3 and it was like a PS1 classic or something. Yeah. Amy and MK Guardian both played PS3 Bromance Incoming. Hey, man. You gotta have those friendships. Friends are important. And if you guys bud a blooming and beautiful bromance, then fantastic. Worlds collide, man.
We support it.
Absolutely. You go do your thing. Cool. Well, what I think about gameplay and graphics right now, it's good. Maybe we'll be better than Hell 2, but yeah. I never really got into Hellblade. I know exactly what you're talking about, and now I kind of want to see that. I want to see it. Because now I'm interested in what you're telling me. Why not? We're just chatting. Oh my goodness. Can you pull it up?
What are you looking for?
Hellblade 2. It's crazy. Let me see here. Hey, wow, we've been on here for almost 2 hours.
Yep.
That's crazy. Like, time is just going. It feels like it hasn't been that long, but it also does at the same time. So, yeah. You want to talk about the movie? Well, no. We weren't done talking about your experience.
Are we not?
Oh, no, are we?
I can't remember what I last said.
What did you like about the game?
I like the story a lot. I'm sorry, I'm trying to, like, I don't even know what to click on.
I actually have to leave my house. Ew, LOL. But it was nice talking to y'all. You guys are cool. Peace.
Peace.
Spaghetti dinner. Naya Dev Man, I hope we hang out again soon. Thanks for joining Just Happy Burger.
Thank you.
Have fun when you leave your house and be safe.
Yep.
Ew.
Yeah. Spookier out there than Silent Hill 2.
Oh, man. That's how we're going to end everything. It's spookier out here, y'all, than Silent Hill 2. Okay, peace. We got 4 people in the chat. Now there's 2. That's so freaking funny. All right, let's talk about this movie, damn it.
Okay.
Christoph Gans, the director of the first Silent Hill film. I know, man, we be peeking the chat. The director of the first Silent Hill film. And the now director of the Return to Silent Hill film, which basically follows the timeline and story of Silent Hill 2.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. The initial footage they started showing us, I thought it was B-stock footage. I thought that it was just stock footage. I wasn't piecing it together until they kept showing it closer in the atmosphere, like the environment, and I'm like, holy hell, what are they doing? That little like glimpse we got of Maria in it, okay, seemed to be like they were trying to pretty much be I wouldn't say spot on, but faithful to it, right? I want to circle back to that faithful comment.
Right.
But James, however, is that going to be James? Are they changing the narrative here? You know, they changed the protagonist in the first film. You know, complete opposite of... The gender was different.
Right.
Rose was still very fucking clumsy. Harry Mason is very clumsy. He's a writer. He was the protagonist of the first game. Anyway, so I forgot what I was saying. Can you help me, man? I forget my train of thought sometimes.
Let's see. I don't know. You were just explaining stuff, so I don't know if I got to your thought yet.
So Christoph Gans,
you're like, I'm just gonna start over.
Director of the first film, director of the new film. James, it looks different. They changed him, just like they changed from Harry to Rose in the first film. That's what I was saying. They're changing. It looks like the potential could be that maybe his name isn't James. I don't know. We don't know anything about it except that the director has a very funny and interesting way of speaking. The plot, he says that he's looking for his lost bride. You know? James and Mary weren't newly married or anything in the game. So it was an interesting choice in words. Which, you know what? That tells me I should just break it on down. But how faithful is this going to be to the game, really? Right. Because I guess just like the first one, they really had to make it so it appealed to a broader audience. I need a drink. This is delicious.
Which one is it?
Hype sauce, man. Yeah. Anybody in the chat drink G Fuel? I'm on the hype sauce, man. It's such a silly kind of name, I think, for a drink. Hype sauce, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's raspberry lemonade. I was talking to someone last night about that. I was like, that's hype sauce. Like, what? I don't understand. But I just got the shiny splash.
Oh, yeah?
It's the blueberry lemonade, and I can't wait to combine the two. As long as I know the blueberry tastes good, right?
Oh, yeah.
That would be cool. It'd be like a blue raspberry. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, the movie. James.
Yeah.
His name could be Harry. His name could be Jim. I don't know, man. But I know that he doesn't look like James. So is that supposed to be him? It's weird. His hair's longer. His hair is brown. And he otherwise doesn't look anything like James. And the clothing he's wearing is significantly different. So maybe that wasn't. But maybe it is. And they're really doing something. The thing that I loved about the first film was exactly what Christoph was saying. He really focused on the environment.
Right.
That's the most important piece. And that's why I love the film.
Yeah.
Everyone has, they say they hate it, They hate the Silent Hill film. I love it. I don't know any other video game that adapted that well.
Yeah.
Into a film, a live action, real people film, that could appeal to people. Even though it was a little strange. Like, what was that Colin guy in the bathroom stall? What is that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, it's Alessa's nightmare, right? But I mean, what was that? That was strange. So it was like, what were they doing? But, yeah. I was a little, like, saddened or disheartened to hear him say that he focused on that, and this time he's focusing on something else. And so, like, I'm like, oh, man, is it going to lose that atmosphere? Because, I mean, the behind-the-scenes footage that I was seeing, I didn't see atmosphere. The nurses, you saw that, right?
Yeah.
The behind-the-scenes, it looked like it looked like choreography.
Mm-hmm.
It looked dancey. I thought they were gonna bust out into Thriller or something.
Well, they were dancers, right?
Yeah, but it's like it's clear. The nurses, like, they glitch when they move. They like stutter when they move. I mean,
mm-hmm.
they spaz, they tweak, they twitch. They look like they were just all dancing. Oh man, I want to go back and rewatch it because I feel like there's not much I can say that I loved about what I saw
of the movie.
Yes.
Okay.
And that upsets me because he did the first one so good.
Mm-hmm.
Even though, yes, I know it was a lot of liberties taken and it wasn't completely faithful, right? Faithful. Let's circle back.
Mm-hmm.
The beginning of the damn trailer and gameplay of the Silent Hill 2 remake says faithfully readapted.
Mm-hmm.
I'm loosely quoting readapted. They definitely said faithfully, and then they opened the game, the scene with James finding the blood on the street and trying to follow the lying figure that we eventually come across. And I like that they were showing it as a little chase sequence. I didn't quite understand it at first, though. I thought they were just going to a different part of the game, and that was all they were going to show. But it was like a little chase sequence, but then instead of down like an alleyway and then onto a dirt road into a little construction site over a tunnel or overpass or whatever, they have him crawl through a little hole in the side of a shed or a house and kind of like walk around the house a little, and then the thing just kind of it looked really silly.
Mm-hmm.
The lying figures look silly. They look very goofy.
Yeah.
It just like kicked some boxes over, and then it was like, I'm here. It was weird. And the radio on like the love seat, he found that the static was strange.
Mm-hmm.
It was very different. It was awkward feeling. That was strange how that's very different than how it happens in the original. And then you know, as he picks that up, the scene, a cutscene triggers, right? That triggers that whole thing, and he backs up to a window that's boarded, and that's how he gets the plank.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun, but it was just weird because it's like faithful. I guess that's why it was so off-putting for me. If they had shown that somewhere else in the trailer, I probably would have been more open to it. But immediately after we faithfully did this,
right,
we changed everything.
I mean, I guess I like that. I like and I don't like that you're interacting with your environment way more. I feel like
things aren't just sitting there in random spots.
So you have to break things. It seemed like to get to a health drink, and you have to like.
You said you didn't really like that?
I like it and I don't. Like it's just like it's different. I think in a way it's gonna make gameplay. If they're gonna use the same kind of controls, I don't know like what direction they're gonna go with that. But like it would make it harder for like someone like me, like a beginner into like getting into the Silent Hill like games and story and stuff like that, a little harder to like navigate.
So you're saying that the developers, Bloober team, putting items and things strewn about like inside of things or the items enable for you to be able to get them, you have to do something.
Yeah.
You think that would negatively impact your gameplay?
Maybe. I mean, especially if it's like a fast thing where I don't know, like how fast they're gonna make the
line figures.
Any of those, and if you have to take the time to break something and it's not just sitting there. I don't know, like any of that. Like we weren't shared any of that stuff. Like how you know how fast those monsters are moving, how fast you can break into things, and how to use those objects that you get. So, I mean, I guess once we find that out, we'll know. But, I mean, I think it's a cool detail in the grand scheme of things. Like, oh, cool, now you can break windows and do this kind of stuff. But in the first Silent Hill, well, not the first Silent Hill game, but the original Silent Hill 2 game, you did have a fair amount of interacting with your environment, but it was just kind of puzzle-based.
In what?
Puzzle-based. Like when you interact with your environment, like the finding the rings to put on the hands to work the elevator.
Oh, you're talking about in Brookhaven in the hospital.
Yeah.
What about it?
Like instead of like having like that was like how we were interacting with the environment was like solving these puzzles and all that stuff for the original Silent Hill 2 game. But this one it seems like you're gonna have that, and then you're gonna have like, where do I find my health? Where do I find my like it? And also, I mean, I think I saw his neck turning I would have to watch it again, like when he was passing by objects, and maybe that's the same way that you find things. And
I'm so glad you bring that up.
In that aspect, then maybe it won't be hard, and it's just like something that you're gonna get used to is breaking things and moving fast. But yeah, I mean, I like the neck thing. It helped me find all my objects.
Yeah, I think that was like a crucial part of the gameplay, and honestly, a game changer.
Yeah,
that hasn't really been followed. And it's weird because, hell yeah, I'm super, like, I feel passionate about that. The fact that the protagonists in the Silent Hill series, at least the first 4, they would, well, 1, give or take, but 2 through 4, your protagonist would turn. It was just something that was programmed. It was in the code of the game. They would just turn at any item of interest.
Yeah.
And they were spot on. It wasn't like they were just looking at bullshit and you're like, what is this? You're not looking at anything. They were. And yeah, I love that you bring that up because that is such a really cool part of the series.
Yeah.
The mechanics of the game. Like, it's just like, I think so much because this game's confusing.
Point me in the right direction somewhere.
Yeah.
But I also like that, like, you didn't really know if the character's head was turning for, like, something that was going to help you out or if they're just looking at a monster. So sometimes you would follow it and run into a monster and be like, ah! That might have been an item of interest to you, but not me.
Yeah. Right. It. You know what I'm interested in?
What?
Is James still gonna be a nasty? What? I know you say what, but that sicko would be putting his hands in anything.
Oh yeah.
And what about the holes?
Oh,
Well,
that was one thing that I was like, yo, how far down are we going?
You are descending into freaking hell, baby.
The holes are so dark that you don't know how far they are. But each time it looks like it's a long fall.
Yeah.
He never lands on his feet.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like, if I was jumping down that many holes, I think even on the first one, I'd break my ankles.
Yep.
And then fall bad on my back and break my back and my neck. I'd just die. Man. Yeah.
And even those stairs that went on forever.
I hope they do that again. That was a part of the insanity. I mean, yeah, I love it. I loved that. I love the descent in the stairs, on the stairs. The boat rowing, is it gonna feel like forever? What are the mechanics gonna be like for that? Because the mechanics were really strange originally, you know.
Yeah, you were just laughing at me. I was like, I think I'm going the right way. You're
like,
you're not.
I was like, you have to look at the fucking light. They showed you that immediately. Follow that shit.
I thought like I was turning forever, but it wasn't getting anywhere. So I was like, maybe I just have to keep going forward, and then I'll start seeing a light. And you were like, you need to find the light. I was like, I was trying to find the light.
That's freaking classic, man.
It's like I stopped right before I found it and went the other way, and it was still nothing. And I was like, you know what? This light is nowhere to be found.
I was like, the light! You must go that way. And it is an achievement. It's a trophy. You can get a trophy. And it impacts your, I'm pretty sure I told you this. It impacts what ending you get, too. Like, it helps go towards endings. Your completion time, like, if you can do it, I think the trophy for it is, like, under 80 seconds. And if it shows you at the end, like, your score. It shows you how long, it says boat time.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? How are you calculating the kilometers? How many enemies route it by this and that? Very cool. You put some kind of calculus in that bitch.
Right.
You know?
I know I didn't kill a lot of monsters because I was too busy running around them, causing you stress.
That was my method I gave you, you know. I wasn't like, hey, run around them, but
run past it.
I was like, listen, give it a couple shots and go. If you must. If not, just go around it. It's still survival horror at the end of the day too, even though it felt like there were plenty of resources. But I also think that game is just really, really buggy. And I'm so sorry that was your first experience. But I do have the OG back in my possession, so we could replay it together if you want. I'm probably gonna go through it one more time before the remake comes out on October 8th. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the merch looked cool.
Yeah.
They did the Nendoroid Red Pyramid thing with option parts. The Great Knife and the Great Spear. I don't know if they showed those parts. I think they just kind of showed Red Pyramid Head. And I'm interested in that because, yeah, why not?
You said you like the puzzle collection too.
Yeah, the coin puzzle.
I think they said 3 of them came from.
What room was that coin puzzle in?
Yeah. Was it like room 105 or something like that?
You were like Woodside Blue Creek apartment, room 105. I was like, what the fuck?
I was like,
Rain
three
Man
of
right
those
now.
corns. 3 of those coins
Everyone
were part
put
of that
the
puzzle.
corns in the chat. That hideous laugh.
Oh my gosh.
Man. It's funny, you know, we've been chatting, I've had no music on. I'm gonna play a little beat. You know? Get the MP3s. I'm gonna play a little sneaky beat.
Little sneaky beat.
Get the Street Refuge. You know? Oh, I love it, baby. You ready for some beats? Unreleased track, guys. I think I'm gonna make it this Thanks to everyone who joined tonight. Had a lot of fun. Can't wait to do it again. And there might be a video that I end up throwing together, kind of giving out all the updates of what happened this evening on the Silent Hill Transmission Part 2. Super cool. We got a lot of information. Looks like things are moving along and they're going to be happening. It's just a matter of if and when, but we think the if is going to happen, so it's just a matter of when. October 8th, guys. Be there or be square like the mouths of the nurses.